Hey everybody, Retro Pie Guy here. Today we're going to jump in here and do a full demo and review of this NYXI Wireless Nintendo Switch controller. This is an amazing controller here. I'm going to let you guys know that right off the bat, but we're going to jump into this in great detail. I'm going to unbox this for the very first time with you guys. I'm going to jump in here and go over all the functions and features of this particular setup. We're also going to do a side-by-side comparison, comparing this to your typical Joy-Con controls that you get with your Nintendo Switch when you first purchase it. So you can see the differences side by side between these two control setups. We're going to also test this out. We're going to test it out both ways that we could play on the Switch. We're going to use it as a handheld, and we're also going to use it exactly like this with a Switch up on my TV screen here. So let's jump into it. Alright, so here we have our NYXI wireless controller for the Nintendo Switch. So I'm going to open this up, but you can see here we have some rainbow lighting around the actual analog sticks on here, so super excited to actually check this out. I've been dying to update and upgrade my Nintendo Switch controls, so this is looking like a very promising option. So we're going to open this up, see what's included in here. So there is the box. I'm going to set that aside. Really nice packaging here. We have our cable right here. Open this up further. Nice manual right here. I always take a close look at the manual just to make sure that everything is super straightforward, and it's included all of the directions that we're going to need in order to set this up. Really nice diagrams here as well. That's always super helpful for people that are visual like myself. I really actually am terrible at reading instructions. I always try to figure things out first, and the pictures usually are a big help. So you can see here it does outline all the different functions and features really nicely in the diagrams on here. So I'm going to set this aside as I typically do with instructions, but let's dive into this. I'm always dying to try out new controllers, and this just looks really cool. Very secure. Always like to see good packaging like that. Wow, this is a really nice feel to it, just picking it up like this. Alright, so now that I got everything unboxed and I showed you exactly what is included in here, we obviously also have this piece right here, which we're going to use when we test this out as just like a Pro Gamepad controller here, because as the box suggests here, you can put that in the center and use this as your full Gamepad controller here with your Switch if you're playing this on like a TV or monitor. We're going to get to that, but I first want to compare these to the Joy-Cons that come with your Nintendo Switch. So here I have my regular ones. I got my red or neon red or whatever you want to call that color. And then I have the blue one right here. So these I'm absolutely not a fan of. These almost like ruin the entire Switch experience for me, just because I just don't like them at all. I find them to be really puny. I don't like the D-pad here. If you've seen my reviews in the past on gamepad controllers, you know that I'm just absolutely picky about D-pads, and these just suck. There's no way around it. They suck. If you look at, I'm going to put a different background here. Let me put this down because black on black doesn't give you much contrast. But if we take a look of the side profile here of these buttons, and it doesn't matter if it's these up here or your D-pad on this side, they're exactly the same. They don't stick out much, so you have almost zero action on these. Action meaning that when you press this, not much, there's just not much play to it, so you don't get much feedback or anything like that. And I don't like that. I like raised controllers. I like that of like a controller. Like here I have a Xbox style controller here. You can see side view on this. They stick out quite a bit, so there's a lot to grab onto, on buttons like that. Here they're really small. Now the analog sticks here, very small as well. I don't have massive hands or fingers, but my finger is much larger, or my thumb rather, is much larger than the analog sticks here. So it just makes it a little bit harder to navigate, and it just doesn't give you a great feel. Now there's also no real depth to these, so your fingers don't wrap around these well. There's nothing to like hold on to here, so it just makes it really insecure. These are chunky, and I like chunky controllers. I like Xbox controllers. I like PlayStation controllers. Something to grab onto, something that gives you good grip and gives you a great feel to whatever you're gaming on. So here, looking at these buttons, we can see that they stick out quite a bit. You can see the contrast from here to the white background there, that they stick out a whole lot. So there's great action on here. They all have really great performance as well, and they're large. Now the analog sticks here, this one's lit up, this one's not, but This one will light up once we connect it as well, but really great movement on here, super smooth. Now if we were to do that here, I can't even go fast on here. It just doesn't work here, and I'm right-handed, so here's the comparison. I'm just cruising with this. This one, I really have to move it, and I'm just not getting great action on this or movement at all. So again, do not like these at all. I've been dying for an opportunity to actually upgrade, and this is going to be a great upgrade. I can tell right off the bat without even connecting this to my Nintendo Switch yet. Just love everything about this, and the D-pad. If you've seen my reviews in the past, like I said, D-pads are something that I'm really picky on. I love the action here. I love that we can just kind of move around really freely like this. We don't have to just go up, down, left, or right. We have those diagonals and everything. Over here, totally different experience. I mean, they're not even connected. Yeah, you can kind of rock them a little bit, but it's really not a good experience in my opinion. If you're picky like me, some people don't mind them, I mind them. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple things. We're going to connect this to the Switch, play it as like a handheld, and then we're going to bring this piece in right here and use this as like a Pro controller playing on screen. So let me grab my Switch. Let's slide this guy into place. There's that one. There's that one. All right, so here we go. Sonic Racing here for the Nintendo Switch. I'm going to be playing as Tails, and we'll give this a go. All right, so we just played Sonic Racing here, and I gotta say, this has lived up to the hype here. This is absolutely amazing. I've been playing, like I said, with these guys for a while now, and I've actually tested out some other ones, and more or less it came down to they had the same sort of feel. And this is the first one that feels chunky and gives me the support that I need here to play this as a handheld console, and I absolutely love it. I think it's great. The action on these is phenomenal. It's just got everything that I'm looking for. And up here, this is a huge difference too that I wasn't even thinking about right off the bat. The shoulder and trigger buttons here are just absolutely exceptional. They're super long, so no matter how large your fingers are, your hands are, you're going to find yourself somewhere along here. And the action on these, no matter where you are, whether you line up with your fingertips right in the center or you're kind of hugging them like I am, the action is phenomenal anywhere that you are. So you can hit it here, you can hit it here, dead center, wherever on both your shoulder and trigger buttons up here, and you're going to get exceptional performance from this. So that's something I always look for, because with these, they're very limited, much smaller. You can see here, that's about an inch from end to end here. Same thing here, and this is really thin too. The comparison here, I mean, there's really no comparison. This is double the width, both here and here, but also the depth on these is much larger. So again, it's just going to accommodate you no matter what size finger you are or your hand placement. So we are going to jump over to using this now as a gamepad controller here, and we're going to play the Switch on the actual TV, as opposed to here, in handheld console sort of form. All right, so we're jumping back in here now. I'm obviously using this now as a gamepad controller here, playing my Switch on my TV screen. So we're gonna do the exact same race again, exact same character on here to do a fair comparison.
Yeah, we're sailing now.
Consider this a warning.
Ouch! Right in the kisser. You're being mean, Tails.
You left me no choice.
That hurt, Tails. Take that!
Get the message?
Get that hunk of junk out of the way! Not cool, man! Take a guess what that was, Tails! Okay, I'll stay frosty. Watch out!
Nothing personal, Knuckles. Just what the doctor ordered, Doctor.
All right, obviously a much better result here. This is my preferred way to play the Switch. I do enjoy playing it, as a handheld, but this is where I feel most comfortable playing it like this. And these are just absolutely phenomenal. This improves my experience with Nintendo Switch so much. Alright guys, so in this video we jumped through here and we unboxed it. We compared and took a closer look at all the functions and features. We compared it side by side with the Joy-Con controller. And we also tested this out both ways that you can on the Nintendo Switch. And I gotta say, phenomenal controller here. I absolutely love this. And this drastically improves my overall experience with the Nintendo Switch. I've been playing the Nintendo Switch for a couple weeks now, having a good time with it. But my only issue with the Nintendo Switch were the Joy-Con controls. I absolutely hated them. I didn't like the action on the buttons. I didn't like the low profile buttons. I didn't like the D-pad. I didn't like the shoulder and trigger buttons. The entire thing was just really frail and thin. I like a chunky controller. I like something that's sculpted to my hands so it feels comfortable. I didn't find that to be the case with the Joy-Con controls. So this right here from NYXI is absolutely phenomenal. I love everything about this. And just to highlight some of the things that I love about this, not all of them, but some of them, is the action on the buttons. They're raised, as I pointed out in this video, so they have great action. They're much larger as well, so if you have bigger hands, which I wouldn't say that my hands are necessarily big, but they're not small. I just find that my hands line up on here, my fingers line up better on these buttons, so I'm able to play much better with this setup. Now, the analog sticks on here are absolutely phenomenal. They're super smooth. I can move, characters in games much better and smoother with these analog sticks. The D-pad here, it's a single D-pad. Everything's connected. You can circle and have great circular motion on here. You can hit those diagonal navigations much easier. It's just a overall way better D-pad than what you have on your Joy-Con. So the other thing is shoulder and trigger buttons. They are very large, and I love that because not everybody has the same size hands and fingers. So some people are going to be hitting it on the outside, some are going to be hitting it dead center, some are going to be hitting it closer to the top of the controller. It does not matter where you hit the shoulder or trigger buttons here, the functionality is the same. So I can hit it here, I can hit it here, over on the other end, over in the middle. The performance here and functionality is exactly the same no matter where you're actually hitting this. So I love that about this. I didn't find that to be the case with the Joy-Con controls or with a lot of other controllers out there for the Nintendo Switch. A lot of them have sweet spots. Sweet spots are these spots that you want to hit because your action is best there and your result is going to be best there. Here, it doesn't make a difference at all. So I love that about this. I just think that it's tailored to the majority of people because, again, anybody can use this. It doesn't matter if you're a kid, an adult, doesn't matter if you have massive hands, small hands, you're going to line up somewhere on here. The buttons are about 2 inches wide, also thick. So again, wherever you hit, it's going to register and give you a perfect performance on here. So in addition to all of that, the size of it is nice. It's really custom tailored and just fits your hands really nicely. It gives you something to grab onto. We have the ability to kind of cup this like this, so you're just not going to be dropping it, which is something that I found to be much harder with the Joy-Con controls because they are so flat and they're really not sculpted in any way or custom tailored to your hands. It's just pretty much a flat surface that is really easy to slide off of and doesn't give you a great grip. In addition to that, we have some really nice lighting around the analog sticks here when this is powered on. These light up really bright colors and it looks really cool. It has no effect on the functionality, but if we have something that is super functional and performs really well, it's certainly nice to have a good appearance that goes along with it. So absolutely love this. It has 100% changed my experience here with the Nintendo Switch. And because of this controller, I'm going to be jumping into more Switch games because I enjoy them that much more. I've also been playing NBA 2K22, and I've been having a hard time adjusting to playing this game on the Nintendo Switch with the Joy-Con controls. I wasn't getting great movement. I was really struggling to consistently hit three-point shots. If you're familiar with that game, you have to hit them at the perfect timing in order to sink them in. And I wasn't getting like any three-pointers. With this controls, all I did was just switch over to this. Didn't adjust anything on screen or anything within the game. And I was just hitting threes much easier because I was just having better luck with the controls on here and the buttons. So I found them to be more precise, more along the lines of what I was used to having played that game on Xbox and PlayStation 5. So it just improved, again, my experience with that game, which, you know, I was really getting frustrated with it because I know that I'm pretty decent at NBA 2K22 and 2K21 on other systems. But with the Switch, I was just having an absolute terrible time getting everything, you know, up and running, so to speak. So that's going to do it for this video though, but once again, this NYXI wireless controller for the Nintendo Switch is out of this world. I highly recommend it. Definitely check out this controller, get some additional information on it. So just jump down to the description of this video. You'll be able to click the links down there and get that information or put an order in if you're interested in picking up one of these. They're really fairly priced, and overall you're going to get just an amazing experience out of them. So don't hesitate to pick one of these up, or at least get that information. Again, link in the description below, but that's going to do it for today. So if you enjoyed this video, you found this helpful and interesting, hit the like button for me. It's a huge help here on YouTube. And of course, if you're interested in staying in the loop for all future videos here on the RetroPie Guy YouTube channel, I highly recommend hitting the subscribe button just to stay in the loop. But that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you back here on the RetroPie Guy YouTube channel real soon.